it's me, Anne-Marie, and welcome to our city homestead. It's August, so let me show you around the garden.
We are starting our garden tour in the front yard. This is our plum tree. It has 3 different kinds of plums on it. This particular kind is called Bounty, and this is the majority of the tree. It'll be a deep red once ripe, and these plums are actually quite sweet. This kind here will ripen to a yellow skin, and it's sweet as well, and they are called the Feistin. We also have opata plums on here, but unfortunately with all of our thunderstorms, windstorms, and the hail, we don't have any opata plums on this tree. Here's the Feistin and Bounty again. All right, over to our apple tree. This is a fall red apple tree. The skin will turn a nice deep red, as you can see, but the apples are not ready yet. We did try one, and it is too hard and too tart, and they're just not ready. Here is the Viking choke cherry. These choke cherries are extremely tart, so I'll be saving them to make jelly. And they turn, as you can see, kind of purpley black once ripe, and these are ready to pick. Now we're walking over. Here's the plums that have fallen off the tree, and something's been eating them. They left a bunch of pits everywhere, and they're like half eaten. Here is the rhubarb. I have 3 rhubarb plants here. I have trimmed it back. I'm just letting these grow a little bit. I froze some, and I made some rhubarb cherry pie. So good. Here are the onions. They don't look so good anymore, but we're just waiting for the bottoms to grow a bit before we harvest them. Little viola growing there. Aren't the flowers beautiful? I'm going to let them go to seed and collect the seeds. Here is the hot peppers, chili peppers. This variety is a cayenne pepper, and we grew cayenne last year, and we dried the cayenne, and then we ground it up to make cayenne powder, and it was so good. It's so spicy and so flavorful, so that's what we're going to do again this year. Here's some Greek basil. I planted it a little bit late in the year. It's just not doing so great. Here we have a grape tomato, and they are yellow once ripe. I see I have a couple there to pick. And there are tons of flowers on this tomato plant, and it is huge. And I did not use a tomato cage, so it's kind of fallen everywhere. Here is some marjoram. And the flowers grow just so weird on the marjoram, but I'm going to be collecting the seeds. And here's my parsley. And sometimes I just let it go to seed, and often they just replant themselves. Here we have the blueberry. I just can't believe how red the leaves are already. The blueberries right now are kind of on the tart side, but they still taste delicious. Then just to the right of it, I have another blueberry. This is a Chippewan blueberry, and it's got tons of blueberries to pick, and these ones are a lot smaller of a blueberry. This is a pink lemonade blueberry. We just planted it this year, so there's no blueberries growing yet. This is a honeyberry bush. I have 2 honeyberry bushes, and we've had these ones for 7 years. This year, they have grown so much. Must have been with all that rain we had this spring. This is our strawberry bed. We're hoping in time that it'll produce enough strawberries that we can make jams and jellies. But right now, it just makes enough to eat, which is totally great. And they taste so flavorful, and they are so good, so much better than what you can get at the store. All right, these are our raspberries. We planted them about, I think, just last year, actually, and they have sent up a whole bunch of canes. We only started with 2 bushes, and the one raspberry bush we had for about 3 years. But once we replanted it and trimmed it back, it is growing beautifully. Sent out so many kinds of canes here, and we have 2 kinds of raspberries growing. One has a lighter green leaf and produces smaller berries, and the darker green bush produces larger raspberries. and they are delicious. I love having raspberries. So far, we've just had enough to eat and bake a little bit with making raspberry muffins and stuff, and that's about it. Here's my other rhubarb plant. It's been here for a couple of years and it's not growing very well, but it's okay. And here are some peppers. We have a variety of peppers growing here. We have candy cane red peppers and some other kind of bell peppers. We've got some more cayenne peppers, some other chili peppers, jalapeno peppers. We have a whole bunch of different peppers here. This is the garlic chives we planted from seed. Flowers are so pretty. I let the chives go to seed, it drops its seeds, and then it just keeps coming back every year. There's another bell pepper there hiding. It's time to pick some of these peppers already. The cayenne, like I said earlier, we'll be drying those. And we will be canning some to make some spicy dill pickles. And the jalapenos we'll be saving to make salsa. Alright, here's some more peppers. My daughter loves growing peppers, so we have a lot of them. And a spider web, which are catching all the aphids. We're just going to let them be. And then some more cayenne. The other one was a jalapeno. So we've got tons of peppers. I'm so excited to make things with them this fall. Here are my chives. They are growing beautifully. I have to trim them back and I will chop them up. And I will freeze some and dry some. Here's the oregano. It smells so good. But I can't believe how quick it's gone to flower. The flowers are so pretty. I will be trimming the oregano so that I can dry it and freeze some to cook with all winter. All right, on to the sage. This is a very large sage. I will be trimming this back as well, and I'm going to be drying the leaves to make ground sage. Here is our thyme, starting to go to flower as well. I'm going to be trimming that back as well as all my herbs this coming week so that I can either freeze it or dry it. There are some more chives. Here is basil. This plant is doing beautifully. I've had to plant basil this summer about 4 times. Here is rosemary, some weeds, and some garlic chives. And I will be freezing those as well. And you can tell it's garlic chives because they're a lot thinner, whereas regular chives are more round. I have lots of freezing and drying of herbs to do this coming week. All right, here is the black currant. We planted that this spring. The flowers are dead from all of the rain. We have 3 different kinds of honeyberries here. As you can see, they're completely different than the front yard honeyberries and are growing a lot different, but they actually produce a fair amount considering the fulls ruined the honeyberries this past winter. This is the jossaberry, doing great, hasn't produced any berries yet. This is the Saskatoon. We only got like 4 berries, but this is the first time in about 3 years that it's produced anything. Here are all the cucumbers. They are doing very well. Planted some potatoes here. The potatoes we just planted a few weeks ago, so they're doing pretty good. Here's all the cucumber plants, just checking to see how they're doing. There's tons of flowers, but the cucumbers themselves, as you can see, are very tiny. So we definitely need some nice warm summer weather so that these cucumbers can grow. And I will be turning all these pickling cucumbers into dill pickles. That's one of our favorite things. And if I have enough cucumbers, I will be making a batch of relish. Otherwise, I will buy it from a local farm if we don't have quite enough. Some more little tiny cucumbers. Aren't they cute? Now on to the next garden bed. Here is the spaghetti squash. Lots of flowers. Hopefully the weather holds out, so we'll get some more spaghetti squash. We have one little one growing there, and then we have one that is a lovely size. Look how great it's growing. And this is the first year that we planted beans and corn and the spaghetti squash together. The yellow beans are doing amazing. The green beans are still growing. They definitely need some more time. There's the corn. We have a whole bunch of sunflowers that the birds planted. They're everywhere. Not quite opening up, but they will soon. Some more yellow beans here. They're just so beautiful. Look how many we have. They're definitely ready to pick, so let's pick them. Sometimes you have to be careful that you don't snap part of the plant off. I accidentally broke a little part of it, but that's okay. I just picked all the beans off and threw the plant out because there was nothing left on it, so totally okay. Tons of yellow beans, and they're very big, so it's great. The green beans are still flowering and still growing, so they need a little bit of time yet. But I'm so pleased with all of the yellow beans. These ones we'll just eat, but if we end up with enough yellow beans, I will make mustard beans or pickle them. Here's our yellow beans. We had a few more to pick, and we have to wait for the rest to ripen. There's the green beans and the corn. Here are the pumpkins. We have a few different varieties here. We've got sugar pie pumpkins and jack-o'-lanterns growing. Lots of flowers. The pumpkins are also a little bit late compared to last year, and I'm assuming it's just from the cold, rainy weather. But there's lots of flowers, so hopefully the weather cooperates and we'll get a bunch of pumpkins again this year. Here's the cherry tree. We only had a few cherries to pick, but that's okay. And I can see the leaves are starting to yellow. We came back here and were surprised when we seen all of these piles of dirt from moles. We had this problem last fall, and I'm so surprised to see that they are back. Here is a sugar pie pumpkin. And here's the other disaster pile. So I'm going to have to clean all that up. Here are the sunflowers that the birds planted. Some of them have opened up, but there's no seeds in them yet. Some kind of bug's been eating the leaves. And all those sunflowers we have around the yard, we didn't plant any of them. They're all from the birds. Here are the potatoes. We checked the potatoes and we have not seen any piles of dirt or anything. So far, hopefully, they haven't been feasting quite yet. All these piles of dirt from the moles is just in the last couple days. All right, here, these potatoes, the plants are dying off, which means that the potatoes are almost ready to pick. And this section is a little bit crazy. Nothing really grew. I planted a bunch of potatoes, only a couple came up. There's some sunflowers in amongst the carrots. Here's the peas. We've got a bunch of peas ready to pick. Some sugar snap peas and just some regular peas that we saved off of the peas we grew last year. So, time to pick the peas as well. This is all the lettuce we have left. And the spinach has all gone to seed, but I've been still taking some of the leaves to eat. Here is the dill. We planted a bunch of dill so I can use the yellow heads for dill pickles and dry and freeze the fronds. We've got some more peas here. We had a pea fence, but it blew over in the storms. We use the dill heads and the fronds in dill pickles, but I'll also be letting some go to seed, and that way I can plant dill again next year. There is Greek basil and parsley. Here is the asparagus and a whole bunch of weeds. Something about this section of dirt that the weeds just love. This is the first year we planted this asparagus, so it's growing pretty good. Here is the red currant bush. It hasn't yet produced any berries, but it'll probably take a couple years to do so. Here is all the garlic. We have about 5 different kinds of garlic growing here. And we have taken all the scapes off so it can produce a larger head of garlic. Here's the carrots. We've got a few different kinds of carrots here, as well as parsnips. And the beets. Got a nice sized beet here. And a lot of weeds were growing in this section. Here we have patty pans or sunburst squash. And I see we have a few that we can pick. Lots of flowers, so we'll get more squash. And I like slicing them up and pan frying them in some butter. Here's the gooseberry bush. These gooseberries are very tart, and they're not ready until they are a deep red, almost purple. And I'm just going to be washing them up, cleaning them up, and freezing them to make a jelly with once we have enough. This is a North Blue blueberry bush. It's by far our best blueberry bush and produces the most. We've already had one picking, and we'll be picking them again this afternoon. This is our last garden bed I have to share with you. We've got pansies and violas in here. The pansies and violas plant themselves every year. And here's the mint. We've already did one clipping, but we'll have to trim it back again. Tons of mint this year. Aren't the flowers beautiful? Thanks so much for walking around the garden with me. Have a fabulous rest of your day. We'll see you again here soon. Bye, everyone.